Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pachanine Nirvisesha Shunyavani Hastata Desha Tarine. Today we're continuing our reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto entitled The Status Quo, chapter 13, The Appearance of Lord Varaha. And we'll cover 3 texts today, 29 through 31. Please repeat. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Text 29. Please repeat. Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega. Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega. Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega. Vishirna Kukshi Sanayan Udanban. Vishirna Kukshi Sanayan. Vishirna Kukshi Stanayanudanban. Vishirna Kukshi Stanayanudanban. Uchmishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas. Uchmishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas. Uchmishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas. Uchmishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas. Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti. Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti. Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti. Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti. Sabhadra Kutanga Mipata Vega. Sabhadra Kutanga Mipata Vega. Vishirna Kukshi Stanayanudanban. Vishirna Kukshi Stanayanudanban. Utsmista Dirghormi Bujari Vartas. Utsmista Dirghormi Bujari Vartas. Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti. Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti. Please chant.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayan Udanban.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayan Udanban.
Utsrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Utsrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti.
Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayan Udanban.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayan Udanban.
Utsrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Utsrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti.
Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayan Udanban.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayan Udanban.
Utsrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Utsrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Chukroshaya Yeshvara
Chukroshaya Yeshvara
Pahimeti.
Pahimeti.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Sabhadra Kutanga Nipata Vega.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayanudanban.
Vishirna Kukshi Stanayan Udanban.
Shrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Utrishta Dirghormi Bujari Vartas.
Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti.
Chukroshaya Yeshvara Pahimeti.
loud though, okay? Because you're far, far away.
Savajrakutanga nipata vega. Vishirna kushistaya udanvan. Utrishta dirgami udayati vartas.
Word for word synonyms, please repeat. Sa, that. Vajrakuta anga.
Vajrakutanga.
Body like a great mountain.
Body like a great mountain.
Nipata vega.
Nipata vega.
The force of diving.
The force of diving.
Vishirna.
Vishirna.
Bifurcating.
Bifurcating.
Kukshi.
Kukshi.
The middle portion.
The middle portion.
Stamayan.
Stamayan.
Resounding like.
Resounding like.
Udanvan.
Udanvan.
The ocean.
The ocean.
Utrishta.
Utrishta.
Creating.
Creating.
Dirga.
Dirga.
High.
High.
Horny.
Horny.
Waves.
Waves.
Bujai.
Bujai.
By the arms.
By the arms.
Eva Artha.
Eva Artha.
Like a distressed person.
Like a distressed person.
Chukrosha.
Chukrosha.
Prayed loudly.
Pray loudly.
Yajna Ishvara.
Yajna-ishvara.
Oh, master of all sacrifices.
O Master of all sacrifices.
Hari.
Hari.
Please protect.
Please
Please
protect
protect
Ma.
Ma.
Unto me.
unto me.
Iti.
Iti.
Thus.
Thus.
Translation and purports by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Diving into the water like a great mountain, Lord Bor divided the middle of the ocean, and two high waves appeared as the arms of the ocean, which cried loudly, as if praying to the Lord, "O Lord of all sacrifices, please do not cut me in two. Kindly give me protection." Purport. Even the great ocean was perturbed by the falling of the mountain-like body of the transcendental Bor, and it appeared to be frightened, as if death were imminent. We'll read the next two texts. Text 30. Kurai shura pradarayam stadapa udpadapadam chiparu rasayam dadarshakam tatra sushu shuradre yam jivatanin swayam adhidakta. Lord Bor penetrated the water with his hooves, which were like sharp arrows, and found the limits of the ocean, although it was unlimited. He saw the earth, the resting place for all living beings, lying as it was in the beginning of creation, and he personally lifted it. Purport. The word rasayam is sometimes interpreted to mean Rasatala, the lowest planetary system. Here, rasayam, is within the water. Sometimes it's interpreted to mean Rasatala, the lowest planetary system, but that is not applicable in this connection, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The Earth is 7 times superior to the other planetary systems, namely Tala, Attala, Talatala, Vitala, Rasatala, Patala, etc. Therefore, the Earth cannot be situated in the Rasatala planetary system. In other words, it's saying that he found the Earth in Rasayam, within the ocean water. And some people would have interpreted it meaning that it's in the lower planetary system. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur corrected that and said, no, that's not true. Therefore, the Earth cannot be situated in the Rasattala planetary system. It is described in the Vishnu Dharma. Patavanuleshvara samatro vinyasya pado prithivim chapiprata yasyopamano nabhura sochuto mamastu mangalya vipridhaye gahi. Therefore the Lord found the earth on the bottom of the Garbhodak ocean, where the planets rest during the devastation at the end of Brahma's day. Text 31. Svardam strayo dritya mahim nimagnam sarupita samruche rasaya tatrapi daikyam gadayapatantam sudavasandipitatirtramanyu. Lord Boar very easily took the earth on his tusks and got it out of the water. Thus he appeared very splendid. Then his anger glowing like the Sudarshana wheel, he immediately killed the demon Hiranyaksha, although he tried to fight with the Lord. Purport: according to Srila Jiva Goswami, the Vedic literatures describe the incarnation of Lord Varaha in two different devastations, namely the Chakshusha devastation and the Swayambhuva devastation. This particular appearance of the boar incarnation actually took place in the Swayambhuva devastation, when all the planets, other than the higher ones, Jana, Mahar, Satya, merged in the water of devastation. This particular incarnation of the boar was seen by the inhabitants of the planets mentioned above. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti suggests that the sage Maitreya amalgamated both the boar incarnations in different devastations and summarized them in his description to Vidura. And of Srila Prabhupada's purport. So we already discussed that last week about the two different boar incarnations that we're hearing about. The Shveta Varaha incarnation during the Swayambhuva Manvantar and the Rakta Varaha incarnation during the Chakshusha Manvantar, so we won't repeat that. A significant point to bring up here. First of all, which ocean are we talking about? Do you know, Asara? What ocean are we talking about when we say that Lord Boar found the earth submerged in the ocean?
Is it Garbhodak?
Garbhodak Ocean, very good. At the bottom of each universe, the Garbhodak Ocean resides there. So this is not a tiny ocean like the Pacific Ocean. This is an astronomically huge ocean. And significantly, it says that Lord Varaha's transcendental mountain-like body, when he dived into the water, he actually split the ocean in two. That's how huge his body was. So much so that the ocean was afraid that its imminent death was coming, and she put up two large waves like hands and prayed for protection. So this is not a small little boar that we're talking about. Why is this important? To understand the relative size of Lord Varaha here. We'll see many depictions throughout the centuries that artists have made, either in painting or in sculptures, of Lord Varaha lifting the earth. And sometimes we see on the tusks of Lord Varaha this little, looks like the size of a marble or something, this little globe that you and I presently call Earth. This little rock that we live on? It's really teeny tiny. It's so tiny, we think it's really significant. It's a speck in the universe, a micro speck in the universe. So these depictions will show Lord Varaha with what we call our little Earth on his tusks. But significantly, that is not what Lord Varaha raised from the water. What Lord Varaha raised from the water is what is referred to throughout the Bhagavatam as Earth, but the technical name is Bhumandala. So Bhumandala is a astronomically vast, flat structure, like a pancake, with many mountains on it. So it's not just a smooth surface, it's got many, many mountains, including Mount Meru in the center of Jambudvip. So this is a huge disk, if you will, disk-shaped structure named Bhumandala. And so in many depictions by the artists, you'll see Lord Boar on his tusks holding Bhumandala. Bhumandala, we'll read later in the 5th canto, has 7 islands. And the center one is like what we usually consider an island, a solid piece of, like, looks like a donut hole, you know? And that's called Jambudvip. And on that Jambudvip, there's one section out of 9 sections that's called Bharatavarsha. And we are in that Bharatavarsha. But then when you go up and expand, like zoom out, then you see Bhumandala has around Jambudvip an ocean, which is shaped like a donut. And then around that, another island. And then around that, another ocean. And around that, another donut-shaped island. And around that, another donut-shaped ocean. And you go out until you reach 7 such concentric islands with their respective oceans. And it's this humongous, astronomically humongous, almost 4 billion miles in diameter. And us who think we're so great, we're a little speck in the center, basically the center of Jambudvip, center of Bhumandala. So Lord Boar was not just some little, animal that picked up the insignificant planet Earth, but he lifted up the entire Bhumandala. And Vishwanath Chakravarti wants to assist us in believing that. He wants to prove that Lord Boar was able to lift Bhumandala. So he goes through the whole mathematical calculation, because in the 5th canto it says how many yojanas wide Jambudvip is, 100,000 yojanas, and its ocean, 100,000 yojanas, and it goes out, until you reach the very, very end periphery of Bhumandala, and it's almost 4 billion miles. And the Bhagavatam also says that the outer coverings of the universe, like the shell on an egg, it has a 4 billion mile diameter on its inside, and then it goes out really, 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 really far. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur does the math, and he shows that there's just enough room. When you take the disk of Bhumandala, you can place it inside the egg-shaped, universe, and there's just enough room on the sides, on the edges, on the periphery of Bhumandala that it doesn't touch the outer coverings, so there was enough room for Lord Boar to get his tusks in there and pick it up. So that's interesting that Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur went through the trouble to calculate that, to illustrate what it was that Lord Boar was lifting. So Maitreya is describing all this to Vidura. So why are we caring about Lord Varaha? What's going on that somehow they're talking about Lord Varaha?
Was it a question Vidura asked?
Okay, Vidura wanted to know.
No, I can't remember.
Because Swayambhu Manu did not know where the earth was.
Yeah, Swayambhuva Manu actually turned to his father Brahma and asked him to find it, So Vidura is asking Maitreya, well, what happened at the beginning of creation? How did the Lord, manifest different incarnations, and how did Swayambhuva Manu manage to propagate progeny on Bhumandala if you couldn't even find it, And why are we hearing about Maitreya describing to Vidura all these things, starting with Lord Varaha? Because way back in the first canto kind of sets the scene, plants all the seeds for the rest of the Bhagavatam. The sages of Naimisharanya, way back in the first chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 19th verse. Who are they speaking to? The sages of Naimisharanya. Do you know, Sarah?
They're talking to Sutta Goswami.
Very good. The sages of Naimisharanya have asked so many good questions to Sutta Goswami. And the one that's really pertinent to today's class is, they say, we never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who have developed a taste for transcendental relationships with him relish hearing of his pastimes at every moment. So when we have a relationship with somebody, we want to hear about them. A mother, a parent, has love for the child. That's a relationship, right? And they want to hear about the child. Oh, what did they do in school today? How did they make their, piece of art? What material did they use? Or the kid goes off to college. Oh, what did they study? Who are their friends? Where did they go? We want to hear about the person that we love, that we have a relationship with. So the sages of Naimisharanya inquired from Sutta Goswami about, tell me everything that you can about the pastimes of the Lord. We can't stop, we never tire of hearing. But Sutta Goswami, as all gurus, start from the very beginning. They don't jump into Krishna's Rasa Leela. So they're starting with Lord Varaha and going through the different major avatars and culminating in the 10th canto with Krishna's Raj Leela. Although one who is actually a loving devotee of Krishna relishes hearing anything related to Krishna about all his different avatars and his different devotees, ultimately the heart is not fully satiated, if it ever becomes satiated, until they come to the pastimes of Raja Krishna. And that's where the real rasa is. We don't have a rasa with Lord Varaha, for example. We don't have a rasa with, Matsya Avatar. But our Gaudiya Vaishnava Guru Parampara is delivering to us what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to deliver, something that nobody ever delivered before, and that is the opportunity to experience a rasa with Krishna. So, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we will find descriptions of so many avatars and their devotees. We'll come to the 10th canto now ready to appreciate Krishna's pastimes. Because what are we hearing when we discuss all these avatars? We're hearing that this is Krishna in a particular mood, therefore expressing a form. Just like your face. When you're in the mood of happiness, you smile. When you're in the mood of anger, you frown. When you're in the mood of sadness, everything's droopy. Your eyes are droopy, your mouth is droopy. By the form of the face is an index of the mind. So by the form that our face takes, you can see the same person right now and see them a little later and it looks like almost a different person because they're like super elated right over here and then they're super angry or depressed over here. And the face totally changes. You almost think it's a different person, especially like in photos, So the form follows the mood. So, according to the mood of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, different forms are manifested. and they're eternal forms. I might be happy at this minute, but I'm not angry. But 2 minutes from now, I might be angry, but not happy. I can't experience them both simultaneously, right? I can't be overjoyed and depressed simultaneously. I have to toggle between the two. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I agree.
Well, is that why Lord Chaitanya was actually all of a sudden able to manifest as Lord Varaha? Or
Of course.
that's a good
Yeah, we'll get there. But Krishna is not limited like us, that he can only manifest a mood after he manifests another mood and not simultaneously. Rather, Krishna manifests every single mood that's possible simultaneously. Therefore, he manifests every single form possible simultaneously. And each form, with its mood, has its own residence. So you won't find Varahadev in Goloka Vrindavan. You won't find, Kurma Dev in Goloka Vrindavan. Different devotees will have different moods, and they'll want to go to those transcendental planets that they're attracted to, the form and the mood of the Lord. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, see, after the 10th canto, we're going to then have a little sneak preview, if you will, of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where it's explained that he has appeared, right? Krishna, again, has appeared, but not in his usual blackish form, in a yellow form. And he's come with his associates who act as his weapons. And those weapons are for killing the ignorance in the world so that they can manifest the Premanam Sankirtan movement. And if you're intelligent, the Bhagavatam says, if you're intelligent, you will worship this form of the Lord. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not come to walk around saying, hi, I'm God. Bow down, mister, worship me. That's not what he did at all. In fact, when some of his very astute devotees would recognize this is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, hiding himself in the form of a devotee, but he can't hide his identity from us. And when they would say that to him, he would say, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu! Ah, don't commit the offense of calling me Vishnu of God. No. But when he chose to do so in the house of Srivas Thakur, he did go through his display, almost uncontrollably, a display of his different avatars. There he showed his most intimate devotees, not just Joe on the street. He didn't do this while they were on, ordinary Nagar Kirtan, Sankirtan. He did this only in the association of his most intimate devotees. And he showed his form as Varaha, his form as Nrsimhadev, his form as Kurma, his form as Ramachandra, etc. He showed that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the source of all avatars. You will not find Lord Varaha showing his devotees, look, I'm also Kurma, I'm also Nrsimhadev, I'm also Matsya, I'm also Kalki. No, he doesn't do that. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did that. So what did that prove to the devotees? That proved that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not an avatar. He's avatari. Only Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu have the nomenclature avatari, which means the source of all the avatars. But no avatar can show, look, I'm also Matsya, I'm also Kurma, Only Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are avatari. So why did Lord Chaitanya do that? Was he showing off? Look, manifesting all his. Because ultimately, what was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu's, mission or like strategy? That if you understand who this amazing personality Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is, all you have to do is worship him, and you've got all the bases covered. You don't have to go to any demigods, of course. You don't even have to go to this avatar, that avatar, that avatar. All you have to do, this is Radha and Krishna in one body. And he's the avatari, he's the source of all the avatars. Whatever benefit you could get from Lord Nrsimhadev, protection, right? Or Lord Varaha, or Lord Hayagriva, or this avatar, that avatar. It's all bundled up in one beautiful package of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And how do you worship him? Do you have a tongue? Do you have ears? All you have to do is vibrate Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, in ecstatic love. And by this simple Harinam Sankirtan, one will have done the highest worship of the Absolute Truth. One will be completely cleansed of all sins. One will be complete of all karma. One will be completely protected from the onslaughts of material nature. And one will be completely liberated from a birth lower than manifesting their spiritual form of the Loka Vrindavan.
Could you repeat those again, Janaki?
By worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu properly in the Sankirtan movement, one will be completely freed of all karma. And there's other things that you can do to be free from karma. But that's all you can do, get free from karma. One can be fully enlightened with transcendental knowledge. And there's many things, there's other paths you can do to get transcendental knowledge, but that's all you can do. One can commune with the super soul. There's other paths you can do to do that, but that's all you can do. And one can be protected from the onslaughts of material nature, and one can become completely liberated. And we're not talking about Sayujya, merging into the Brahman, which other paths can give you. And we're not even talking about the other 4 Vaishnava liberations. Salokya, that you get to live on the same planet as the Lord. Sounds like a nice neighborhood, huh? Or Sarupya, you get to have a form similar to the Lord. We're all looking to be very beautiful. We have cosmetic surgery and all this stuff. Or Samipya is having the personal association of the Lord, like you can see him. You're not just on the same planet, but you get to see the Lord. And Sarshti, having the same opulences at your fingertips as the Lord does. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, there's other Vaishnava paths that award you those liberations. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Sampradaya, the Nimai Sampradaya, the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, is here to deliver one extra. All those things are included. If you have a $100 bill, don't you automatically have a 50 and a 20 and a 10 and a 5 and a 1? It's all included. So even the highest Vaishnava paths give you $95. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give one more, higher, the most absolute, highest liberation that can't be found from, nobody else can give you. And that is
Prema Bhakti.
Prema Bhakti in Goloka Vrindavan, engaged in Krishna's Vraj Leela with one of the 5 primary rasas, Madhurya, Vatsalya, Sakya, Dasya, actually one of those 3 in Goloka, with So this is our opportunity to take advantage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's meeting. So we'll stop there, see if there's any discussion. Srila Prabhu.